Hello, fellow creatives. So today we're going to talk about the 10 things that either A, you can say I screwed up, or B, I will do differently for my second self-published book. Welcome to the Whiny Writer. Hi! So, this video is going to be, I guess, my first top 10 or 10 things video. And I wanted to put this out because obviously my first book had some bumps in the road. It was the first thing I did. I had no idea what I was doing. So, here are 10 things that I would have done differently or that I will do differently for the second book in the series of Wolf Regnum. By the way, if you have not checked it out, my first book is available on many platforms. It is called The Wolf Trap. It is a dark urban fantasy with a whole lot of sarcasm, and I think you'll enjoy it. I'll have some links below as to where you can purchase it. Thank you. I guess, number one, a calendar. It seems simple enough, but a calendar written down does hold us accountable. It gives us the dates we want to accomplish things. It gives us the times that we have to accomplish those things. It is a simple and yet necessary tool. It will arrange everything that you do and allow you to have a plan, which is what I did not have at all. Ever. So, number two. That is going to be deadlines. Now, the calendar is obviously a list of deadlines, but setting those deadlines is important, and they're kind of a separate entity because I was literally polishing this book, the first book, The Wolf Trap, until weeks before we launched. Weeks. That's not how it's supposed to be. That thing should be done, clean, edited, and ready to go well before you're anywhere near your launch date. So deadlines are really important. So deadlines are going to include when the first draft needs to be done. Deadlines are going to include when the editing process is going to be done. And that's going to involve a whole lot of rewrites before you get to editing. The first draft is going to be a mess. Anybody who tells you differently is lying. Your first draft is going to suck. It's just nature. But that's when you take it and you start knocking off the pieces like a woodcarver, or you start adding like clay until you have what you want. Then you start polishing it and polishing it and polishing it, and that goes over a number of different drafts. Then you're able to send it to an editor and get cleaned up. Third, so once you've got everything polished up to the best of your ability, now you want to start sending it out to ARC readers. Now this is a kind of a multi-step thing. First, you've got to reach out and get your ARC readers. ARC stands for Advanced Reader Copy, and those advanced readers or advanced reader copies go to readers. You want to have a number of them set up, and the reason you do is going to be covered in number 4. But set them up, make contact, get commitments from them, let them know what you need from them and what you expect from them. They're getting to read your book first, so that's kind of nice. But you need them to do what comes in 4. Reviews. You're going to want to have reviews before you launch. Didn't know this. Or I learned it too late. Probably more accurate. The numbers that I'm seeing from other author tubers and statistics as I learn more and more about Amazon, you're going to want somewhere around 20 reviews before you even launch. There's a number of different reasons for this. First, the reviews obviously look good to prospective purchasers of your book. But second, and maybe even more importantly, the more reviews you have, or the more positive reviews you have, to be more accurate, how do I put this? Your book will appear higher in a search. For example, there are probably a good 10 books named The Wolf Trap or Wolf Trap or some variation thereof. The more positive reviews I have, the higher up on that list I am if someone searches for the wolf trap, or if someone searches for a generic subject like urban fantasy. The more reviews, the higher you up on that search, the more eyes get on your book. It's a fact. 5. Now, this I did late in the process on my last book, and I'm not going to make the same mistake. Get your book cover artist lined up early and have that book cover done well early in the process. First, it's exciting. It keeps you engaged. It makes you want to keep writing when you see this cover that's going to be on your creation. It's amazing. Second, and probably more important, the book cover artist and book cover art will allow you to start what I like to call pre-sales. That is number 6. When you have your pre-sale, you are able to get people committed to purchasing your book prior to the launch. It helps your numbers. It helps you show up stronger on Amazon. So these two are interrelated, but book cover artist, and then you're able to set up for pre-sale. When you do that, you're going to want at least 1 or 2, maybe even 3 chapters for the prospective purchaser to look at prior to committing to a pre-order. But that cover art, just so important to that. Cover art, pre-sale. So that's 5 and 6. 7. Something that I did not know about and I need to learn more about. Get involved with your book festivals. There can be local ones, there can be regional ones, but get involved with those festivals because a lot of them have requirements. Some of them require that you have sold so many copies. Some of them require that you have been to other festivals. Some of them require that you sign up a year in advance. Start researching festivals, start getting on their lists, and try and line up as many as you can according to your calendar. You launch a book, you want to be at a festival as soon as possible. 8. Excuse me. Book signings. Same thing as festivals. You're going to want to line up these book signings as quickly as humanly possible for after your book launch. Now, we did a book signing at Sweet Beans Coffee. It was amazing. We did it about, I guess, a month after our launch, and it was wonderful. I'm really hoping that they will entertain the possibility of a book signing right at our launch. In fact, I'd like to launch it at Sweet Beans, but we'll see how that works out. Book signings. They get you out there, they get you meeting people, they get more people involved in looking at your book. Really important. Try to line those up as close to your launch as possible, and a number of them. The more you get out there, the more people meet you, the more copies you'll sell. 9. If you're going to do an audiobook, have it done, read, recorded, and cleaned up prior to your launch. That way you can launch on all platforms at the same time. We're talking ebook, hardcover, softcover, and audiobook all at the same time. So if you're going to do an audiobook, get it set up early. You can go through KDP. They have many actors that will give your book the emotion it needs, the feeling it needs, and present the best product so that you can sell more books. Lastly, and this might be a little out of order, your author review copies. Author review copies are really important because whereas in traditional publishing, they have editors and copy and they have the review process, and they'll make sure when you give them your manuscript, it will be clean and professional looking. With self-publishing, that's a little different. You are the beginning and you are the end. Yeah, you have editors and they will take care of punctuation, they will syntax, making sure that you didn't start with a character that was blonde and end up with a redhead. They will do that. But when you send that manuscript to a print-on-demand publisher, which is often the way self-publishing works, mistakes happen. Sometimes a paragraph is indented too far. Sometimes a page ends like with one sentence at the top. You don't want that. You want a blank page on your book. Review it, get it cleaned up in plenty of time for your launch. It's extremely important because mistakes will be made, and you want to have them fixed up so that you can provide the most professional looking copy possible. And that's it. That's the 10 things that I screwed up, or put it more mildly, I will do differently on my next self-published novel called Homesick, due out September 25th of next year. I've done my edits, I've done my page count, and now I am enjoying a glass of Beaujolais Nouveau. I chose this wine because of the holidays and because of its interesting rules for this wine. Beaujolais is a style of wine you can get at any time. Beaujolais Nouveau, however, has specific rules. And those rules are, at the end of the harvest, all the grapes are gathered up, and these are specific grapes. They're Gamay grapes, G-A-M-A-Y. And they have to be grown and harvested in the Beaujolais region. After they've bottled all that they're going to bottle, they take all that's left, crush it, bottle it, and put it out. Now, there's a rule. It cannot be released for sale until 12:01 a.m. on the third Thursday of November. And that's the rule. So there is some tradition, some novelty involved, and it's just kind of fun. It's a holiday wine. It's thin, but it's red, it's fruity, and it goes well with most everything at Thanksgiving. Or for that matter, Christmas. Very light-bodied. But for now, keep writing, keep drawing, keep creating, keep making art. And I'll see you next time. Good night.